So I'm going, I'm actually already seeing that Hollywood sign because I really am curious about it. So there's a mountain, right, with the Hollywood sign. It's all hollow. And there's like a dark tree. It sounds like it's made out of dark energies. It's like a holographic image of it. But it resembles an oak tree to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that, was like big roots. And it's funny, it goes into the ground, but then there is a mirror image of it. But the mirror image of it is all green tree, like a beautiful tree, but it's on the ground upside down. You know what I mean? And underneath there's a huge cave. There's like a marble round table. There's a lot of seats around the marble seats. And there's a lot of entrances. There's like 9 entrances. And the different groups of people come. The ones that I see right now, they are energetic ones, and they have cloaks with the black hoods on top. And when I come up to them, I touch them to read their DNA, and they just kind of, they look like skeletons to me. But there is one that looks like the, how is it, ser de luz? How is it in English? Ser de luce. Like a being of light,
Mm-hmm.
But there's like from him, there's like a connecting energetic cords that go under the ground. And under the ground level, I see like dark tunnels, and there's like mud, and so there's like not very, it's kind of disgusting, stuff like mud mixed with blood. Some people are crawling, and so it was like but I feel like it's a movie, it's like a holographic um image of hell
Mm-hmm.
type thing that people created by believing in it. And that's how I see it. But it's, you understand, it's like one level was the table was the chairs, and underneath this hell type level, and from this level was the tree upside down. And when the group comes, they kind of like, they talk about things telepathically, they make decisions. But this being of light, he's connected to a lot of people at this hell level who are suffering, and giving him light of the soul energy. And that's why he's glowing like light. But in reality, he looks very much like, when I touch him, he's like those Nordic people, but his eyes are red, like very white skin, like blonde hair to his shoulders. And he's wearing very interesting clothes, kind of like golden, with lots of, there's like a big blue stone here on his chest. I feel like he touches it and he can go to different dimensions when he touches it.
Mm-hmm. Is he human or is he just an appearance?
He's not human. He's because I read his DNA. He's Nordic,
Mm-hmm.
and those, the ones around him,
Mm-hmm.
they are, they just those beings from that underground, from kind of like hell type thing, like skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Are they
from that
using people in
dimension.
the Hollywood industry for energy?
When I go to another one, like from that tunnel, there's just different tunnels going through. There's like a very dark room with the it's almost like surgeon's table, but it's made out of marble. There's like spots of blood on it. I feel like there's like sacrificing there, like the different rituals that are made. Because there's like a throne and somebody sits on there and controls. Because now I see how people come, and those are people, but they're wearing something like a check, like a black and white check, and the black cloaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I see them with red shoes, just weird. And then it's just like a child, like 5. They're just terrible. But all they want to do, they want the body to suffer and the soul go out in the suffering mode, like wounded soul, and then they can use it.
How
They
are they
can use
using it?
it. I see it's just they put it in the container, and then when I see reptilians come, take the container. There's like a hangar thing with lots of ships, like round, like a typical spaceship, like UFO.
Mm-hmm.
It takes it on the ship, and they go to Mars. And on Mars, there is a tower, like a big tower, and there's underneath the tower there's like a tunnel, and tunnel like a cross, and in the middle there's like a center, like a laboratory thing. When they put the wounded soul into the body of a clone child, they cloned that body that was dead, and they put it there. It was already prepared, and they put the wounded soul in that body. But the cloned one is connected to the, I mean, it's like an experiment, but they do something with the soul, because I feel like I see them connecting. It's almost like a cotton ball, but it's they replicate soul, but
Mm-hmm.
they're making it like a fake, like an artificial soul, and they kind of glue it in. They insert the part from the laboratory that they created, a different soul, artificially made, connect with the real one, and put it in the cloned body of the child, the girl that just died physically. And they see how the clone acts, but the clone is connected to a person who's just 7%, and gives 7% of energy to this clone so he can walk and move and all this.
Mm-hmm.
But then they send the clone back to the parents that they've stolen this child from. I see him putting the child into the bed at night where they took him from, through the window on a triangular spaceship with the military guys on it. They did, there's like a light. It goes like this through the window and absorbs the child and takes him out and puts him on the ship. And the child is still asleep. They do something. He's like cloaked in the light, and he's kept asleep. You know, it's a girl, the one that I saw afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
that's
it's a
how they
clone
do it. And then
child.
they substitute. Yeah, well, they take a real child and then substitute the real child with a cloned one, to see how, if you put like a part of artificial programmed soul
Mm-hmm.
connected, glued together with the real soul, which is wounded, how it would act. Because through the wound, it's like a software thing that through the wound they can connect and take over the real soul,
Wow.
and then they see how the child reacts and moves and everything. But the parents think that something's wrong with the child. Is acting kind of funny, not like somebody substituted this girl. They don't understand. It sounds like she's forgot some things she used to do, like her habits are different now,
Yeah.
but she still looks the same.
Yeah. But what is her purpose for doing this?
Well, they want to, that goes into the future, 2051 to dash 55. It's kind of like a new program that they want to substitute the children who are born to this world, and they're very much aware what's going on. It's kind of like the consciousness level are much higher than their parents, and they're afraid that this kind of children can literally, you know, kind of they're contagious in a bad way according to their standpoint, that they can, their high consciousness level contagious to others, and they can open, that they can make their parents understand some things through the things they say, how wise they are, make them understand how this world functions and how it's controlled, because they're born with the understanding already. They don't need to go through life to reach the consciousness level that, let's say, we
Mm-hmm.
reach by a certain point, by a certain age. They're already born that way, like new souls. Their souls are very crystal like transparent. They're sparkling. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have implants in the energy bodies. A lot of them don't, because they're so strong. Even when they go through the all these layers of uh, programmed layers of the matrix, when the soul incarnates, they kind of push out the programming of this matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, most of it. They don't absorb. They're not like gray
Yeah.
like most people are.
So go back to the hill, the hollow hill with the tree in Hollywood.
Mm.
What else is going on that we don't know about?
There's a huge room. There are tanks. There are tanks with clones of different people. The different people we know, that are in power, that are celebrities. I see celebrities. I mean, I don't know all of them, but there are very young ones too, because I don't follow them, but I understand they're like the people that they use.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is just the strangest thing. The clone kind of grows, and when it reaches a certain point, when he can come out of the tank, they take him in a space shuttle, which looks like capsule,
Mm-hmm.
and they put the clones on, and they take them to Mars to entertain reptilians in a very high building. It's a round building that goes very high. It's made out of crystal. I can see it. It's transparent. I can see all the floors. There's a lot of floors. There's like 255, something like this. And I see them partying around the reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like hierarchical levels?
Yeah.
because underneath there are brown reptilians in military outfits, and some of them have like almost like pants with the buckle and the shirt, which is like resembling the human outfits, but then the other ones higher, they are lighter in their color, and they're more green than brown, and they have like space suits kind of like zippered, uh, but then the ones on top, they have like a room, stage, celebrities. They look weird, those clones. The faces are like that, but they move and dance and sing just like a nurse, but you feel they empty inside. They're like robots, and it's just like a regular party is the weirdest thing.
Mhm.
There are people there too, and they're bringing drinks to reptilians, like we do our nurse to parties,
Mhm.
and they like laugh, and just a lot of them are hybrids too, and there is a level with women, human women. They go to after the party to, it's very hard to, I mean, they're all like screaming, you know,
Yeah.
they forcefully do this to them. And
The
then,
reptilians to human women.
right, yeah, and then they have kids on the higher levels of the building. They almost have like nurseries, babies, and then the kids already grown up more, like 3 to 5. It's almost like they're divided by levels of the building, and they have the reptilian hybrid women taking care of them.
Mhm.
They look weird. They have like women in 17th, 18th century, I don't know what century exactly, but the white aprons and the like shirts with buttons,
Yes.
but they have the tail like reptilians, and they have reptilian features, like the skin is greenish,
Yeah.
but it's more like human. They hybridized too, because kids are like that too.
So they
And
just take care of them.
right, and then they become their slaves who serve them at the parties, whom they take to different planets
Mm.
to dig tunnels. They dig a lot. They literally have like shovels, and they make them dig, making caves. Some of them they teach them, they test them, they regroup them by their characteristics, what they can do. Some of them are tougher, they can be soldiers. Some of them can be at the center. There's like a computer center that they take them at the moon, and they can watch humans who are nurse, humans who are dangerous to them, who tell the truth. They're trying to abduct them. They're trying to clone them, make like a pocket of reality where they take them, make a clone, return a clone, or sometimes they don't clone them, but they use them like
Mhm.
very smart humans. They make like how's it called, not like a pocket, but like doing this, like, you know, um, just don't remember the word. Basically, like use them for a cycle and then return
Mm-hmm.
them to the same timeline, to the same very
Oh,
spot
yes.
where they took them from,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
like a loop. Yeah,
Yes.
like a time loop.
Yes.
And, and as if nothing happened to them, because I see a family, like a family with the guy who works at some lab,
Mm-hmm.
New York University,
Mm-hmm.
and they take him a lot. His name is George. They take him and return them a lot. For what? I mean, they don't want to clone him. They want him like real, because clone doesn't really have the same characteristics and the same level of consciousness and everything. Like you can't really clone intelligence
Right.
at the very high level, like the body with the soul has. Um,
Do they serve people in Hollywood like, I don't know, directors or people in power in Hollywood? Do they use these children for any reason?
I feel like they have contracts with reptilians
Mm-hmm.
and other species like Nordics are there. Behind Nordics, there's like Hitler type people
Yeah.
in those, like during the war, they had the uniforms. That's what they have. And they have contracts with those people for some of them have life of eternity to be famous
Mm-hmm.
and with money and on top of the world and control, or ego driven because it gives them satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of the reptilian brain is almost dominant over they have certain implant on the back that amplifies the reptilian brain, but some of them reach the consciousness level and they kind of turn it off. I feel like there's 3% of Hollywood actors actually are kind of like turning into, I mean, in duality, like positive ones.
Yeah.
They're trying to tell the truth about this, like what's going on really there is like a big, I mean, just insane what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Do you see any pedophilia connected to that?
Right? Yeah. They actually use their kids too, and they clone their kids for that too.
Mm.
Some of them wouldn't let, and because they're aware of what's going on, they're protecting the kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are being taken, their life, physical life is being taken. Like, I know that Michael Jackson was taken by that. Is that what came up right away? Like, he was the wrong way accused of that.
So he was innocent.
Yeah. I feel like he wanted to expose them, but instead they tried to to do the opposite, like always like this upside down tree. If you want to tell the truth,
Yes.
then they want to actually blame you for doing that very thing that you wanted to expose to others.
Hmm. Now, is there a connection with people in government in Washington, those kinds of people that are elected officials?
Yeah, there's like a spider web of tunnels. They have like long, they look like buses,
Hmm.
not like the trains, but more like the buses without the wheels, and they go through tunnels very quickly. It's almost like a time machine type thing. You just sit, and then all of a sudden you're there where you wanted to be.
Yes.
And those presidents and everybody who's in charge go there to use kids. But there's a huge like a freezer section type thing, like like a huge gigantic container freezer.
Hmm.
They use they have like sacks numbered, and there's date on them. It's like human flesh that they give to soldiers, to reptilian soldiers to eat.
Are these people
But
that have been sacrificed or children?
they've disappeared. They've disappeared in different. I see different like areas with a lot of green, like forests,
Mm-hmm.
like parks, national parks, something like this. Those who disappear. See, like they divide them. If some of it goes to soldiers, but they get the frozen uh, meat. I mean, an hour, but it's human. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And the ones who are in charge, they like I see this reptilian. He's staring at me. He's got a very long neck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of funky body. He doesn't have those scales or anything, because some of them do, because they hybrids with like dragons, draconians. But this one is more like skin like, but a very tall, like long neck,
Yeah.
and a little, and the face almost like a bird, like an ostrich face. And he's the one who eats. He eats the ones who are still half alive,
Mm.
because those in charge for high positions, that's what they prefer, and that's what they are. I mean, because they're high position, they can do whatever they want. And
Is
they treat their
he the
soldiers
current
terribly
president
too.
there?
No,
Is he trying to expose them and that's why they're always going after him?
so just it's what I see right now. Once you said the president,
Mm-hmm.
I see them in the metallic kind of. It's like a bunker thing.
Mm.
It has like 5 different rooms, and he lives there. But the one that we see is a clone of him. The one that is on top is a clone, because they wanted to take his life away and he had to hide away.
Yes.
But yes, I feel like worms in my heart, like he's a good one.
Why do they want to kill him?
Because he wants to turn the matrix upside down. He knows everything, he understands.
So who is protecting him?
Hmm. He's like protecting himself, but there is a group of people behind him. They in the minority,
Mm.
but but 3% of those actors that I've seen before, they're the ones who are behind him too. And also, there are some people in those families that are in charge of the world, in
Mm.
control. There are like, I see figures from each family, they're secretly supporting him too.
Why
It's
is
like,
that? If they're part of the families that are doing all the bad things.
yeah, but those are like, there's like third or fourth generation
Mm-hmm.
of. See, I feel like the consciousness, because I feel this energy. Like if I take those families, the consciousness is always goes,
Mm-hmm.
even if they have the hybrids. They have souls taken over by reptilians and other species, but there's this little spark is left, and there's always the possibility of them going back,
Mm-hmm.
even though they're very much connected with those Nazis and Nordics, who are like um, they're all about the clean blood, the clean bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But right now, more and more, it's like the energies of the earth are just like a fountain. I see like that, and they're pushing them, and they're feeling uncomfortable. They feel like they need to leave soon, and inside of them, there's just anxiety type thing going on because they're getting secretly exposed, and there's also they're kind of moving away from here little by little because I see spaceships that go back and forth to the parallel universe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a universe that connects with ours. It almost looks like an infinity sign, like an eight,
Yes.
because there's like an our universe and then it twists, and that they created a copy of it, and it's right here, and they go through this portal in between
Yes.
because they understand when their time comes, they'll just migrate to this one. I mean, and they'll try to do the same thing, install the same matrix system that they've installed here,
Mm-hmm.
because this reality is collapsing on its own.
Mm-hmm. Is that
Uh,
why all of these extreme events have been happening this year? Is that distraction, maybe?
yeah, yeah, they're trying very hard. They're throwing one plan after another,
Mm-hmm.
because the consciousness level keeps growing and growing. They need to suppress it more and more,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to come up with new, more drastic plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why this whole virus and all this fear and panic, and but I mean
Are,
they're gonna try to continue with that.
are they going to give up soon? Are they going to be defeated? What's going to happen?
3 4 months of pushing pushing the vaccine, the all these things. Basically, I feel I always see 6 to 7 months of like trying to implement their plans. But I feel like the vaccine is coming right up, and when I say that, I see protesters around the world everywhere.
Yeah. Are they protesting because they don't think it's safe? Or because they're saying the vaccine is going to have like a chip that's going to be able to trace you wherever you go?
It's both. I feel like even people who are asleep,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are going to be protesting
Mm-hmm.
because they don't feel it's safe. They feel like it's been developed too quickly. It hasn't
Yeah.
been tested.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones it's kind of like the unification of two camps of people. The other ones are those who don't vaccinate, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's a third camp of those who believes there's a chip in the vaccine.
Yeah.
And that's how the unity is going to be brought to earth. We like slowly but surely we're going to unite, because
Mm-hmm.
what they've done, they almost feel themselves that like it's gone too far with their virus thing,
Mm-hmm.
because they kept us in fear and panic, most of people, for so long, that people are so wanting to unite with others and
Mm-hmm.
have normal life and embrace other people in communication.
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's why like anything they throw at people now is gonna just unite people in one thought, one idea. So
So all of these, like all the protests and all of the, things that they're doing to divide people with race Is that going to subside soon, or is that going to be an ongoing thing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just keep seeing this snake in front of me, and I keep hearing snake people. Snake people are gonna leave,
Mm,
and after they leave, like because reptilians is like a representative of. That's the main idea that when reptilians leave, keep seeing that. Oh, the tree of life, and then the two snakes. It's like that sign, the medical sign.
mm-hmm. Yes.
I froze that snake. But yeah, it's like reptilians use the snake to remind about themselves, and when they remind about themselves, the people look at the snake and they give them power and energy.
Mm,
The sign by itself and the fear of snakes in people give reptilians energy to live, because almost everybody has this fear of snakes in him, you
yeah.
know? That's what I felt. Hmm. Yeah, could you please repeat? I just wasn't focused.
I
Um,
said, are things going to get better with everybody fighting about race,
mm,
the division we have right now as a society with like police, law enforcement, and people of color? Is that something that's going to keep going, or is it going to get better?
it's artificially made. It's not that it's gonna get better. It's already perfect at the people level. Like people together.
Yeah.
It just the way it's just everybody kind of loves each other. Because we understand those are just genetic suits. We look at each other mostly at the soul level. I mean, a lot of people are,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like those who don't, they're just leaning towards the unity anyway. And this is totally artificially made to create the
Yeah.
fight in between, but it's not working out anymore.
Yeah. Now, do you see if people are getting paid to make all of the disruptions that are happening?
I feel like they're promised something. There's some
Yeah.
promise there, but I see that at the energetic level, there's some astral level that promise better life, easier
Mm,
life, no trauma. Not all of them get paid. Some of them have implants in their heads, and they're controlled
yeah.
by some, those satellites. I see
Mm-hmm.
them right away. There are like energetic threads coming down to those demonstrators.
Yes.
They turn them on, and they kind of, it's almost like bio robots. They just know what to do. They given the program and they act.
Mm-hmm. They
Not
get
all of them get
activated.
paid. Just a small percentage get paid, but no, not all of them.
And what's going to happen with law enforcement? Are we still going to have police?
Police is gonna. I see like police takes off the uniform and was people at some point.
Mm,
It's not yet, but that's how it's gonna go. All the systems are gonna crash down one after the other.
mm-hmm.
First, police is gonna be telling people kind of secretly that we're with you,
Mm-hmm.
because they're having, they're not. They used to get scared and being brainwashed, and now they're getting higher in their consciousness level because the whole energy of the earth being pushed to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and also dimensions emerging. It affects us too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are negative, you're getting like this negativity in front of your face and makes you think, why is that? Things are so bad, and people are starting to ask questions. Maybe something about me because there's so much information around. And others who are aware, they also, so it's like sparks of others walking on the street
Mm-hmm.
affect the ones who are asleep. And if they're not, if that's not their time to understand some things, they still keep a spark, and when they're ready, they would, it's a spark of information. It's like a download. This download would work, and they would get the information, they would understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But they do carry those sparks around, the information, little kind of like,
So there's not going to be any fear of any more shootings or people getting shot or killed.
there's a small percentage of people who are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
They still believe in that, and that's the reality they're going to create, because
Mm-hmm.
they are, they're going to stay. It's kind of like the reality is emergent. I don't know, my subconscious, it's funny, it sends me this, like ice cream in layers,
Yeah.
and the bottom layer, those people creating this kind of darkish reality, but then we are at the higher levels, different realities, but we
Mm-hmm.
can still look at the bottom and see it, but we are feeling differently in the bodies.
Yeah.
And because we're feeling differently in the bodies around us, it's just like a pocket of reality of positive people.
Mm-hmm.
We walk, it's kind of like a reality that we all share,
Mm-hmm.
but there are people with pockets of reality, like a radar system, with the people figures. Those are people they connect with, they talk to, they communicate, they're all positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like little bubbles, like when you blow soap bubbles.
Yeah.
The ones that are more like of a higher vibration, they connect and they create the bigger bubble systems.
Yes.
And then so the big groups positive, smaller groups negative. But the smaller groups are gonna disintegrate at some point because they are just gonna grow too. And then they're gonna form different groups of high realities type thing.
So that is
But
how us as light workers can help.
yeah, because we're all in the same big bubble of this universe,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we're separated by some buffer zone type thing. But we still give information into the buffer zone. It's like the information field that I read the information of, like when
Yeah.
I'm in space and you ask me a question. It's like
Yes.
a Google search that gives me download. So the same thing.
Okay. Do you have any other information you want to share?
I feel like we're creating more and more. It's just positive. So we create a positive layer. They're trying to do something, like they're shooting and mm, it's kind of like those satellites that they got up there. They're
Yeah.
supposed to suppress our energies, but our
Mm.
energy is getting stronger and stronger, and they are freezing the those satellites are supposed to work in conjunction with the 5G towers and all
Okay.
this. They are kind of being in standby mode right now
Mm.
because this just energies go like this and they neutralize. Our energies are neutralizing the power of the artificial intelligence a lot, but it goes in layers. It's like we express our power and it works perfectly. and then we need a period of rest to regain, and that's when we might feel kind of not so good.
Yeah.
And that's when we can get energetically attacked by others.
Yes.
That's why it goes in waves like everything else, vibrational. So that's about it.
That's
Mm,
great. That's very good information. Thank you.
mm, thanks.
Are you ready to
Um,
detach?
yeah, disconnected with everything now. I'm in the moment of now.
Okay, good.
Well, thanks. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But this, yeah, this Hollywood thing and everything.